Ricky, and I'm very interested. You said that if there's any swing to be found, Bhuvaneshwar will find it. What if it doesn't swing?
Well, I think he's got great control anyway, Bish. I think that's one of his great strengths. He's not overly quick. He stands the seam up. He might get a little bit of assistance on this drier surface with that seam just gripping the surface here early on. A nervous start as well, just dragging that first ball wide down the leg side. Well, it's good cricket again. Another solid forward defence from Amla. Looks to be moving well. Seeing the ball nice and early, nice and clearly. I just wonder, Bish, if it's something to do with how dry a lot of the surfaces are. We know a lot wicket may just be a little bit drier than ever before. You know, you need a little bit of moisture in the air for the ball to swing well.
Will only be one. First over complete. 3 without loss. Dele Peshtawayo, a one change for South Africa today. "23-year-old Jasprit Bumrah. No wickets yet in the tournament, but an outstanding talent, quick enough, and wonderful variation. 2 slips for him as well."
And good start as well from Bumrah. Just back of a length, no movement in the air. Unusual action. Bish, it's not one that you'd say is out of the textbook, but he is very, very effective. A chance to work with him a couple of years at the Mumbai Indians. And the variations are very, very good, as you say.
Yeah, just an indication as to where the team stand. Everyone on a couple of points. Yeah, so a couple of teams will end up on 4 points here, with Pakistan and Sri Lanka playing tomorrow. And so in Cardiff, so with net run rate, it may be India. Then whoever does it will be playing against Bangladesh. Second semi-final in Birmingham. What a group it has turned out to be. What a tournament this has turned out to be. Last 4 days.
Yeah, upsets everywhere, Vish. I think we all thought at the start of the tournament there was probably a bit of a gap between the top 4 and the bottom.
Not yesterday, though. Not yesterday. Ricky, not yesterday.
Not yesterday. Not yesterday. No, the Australians were a little bit off their best, haven't they been, the last week and a half anyway. They obviously starved of a bit of time in the middle, but you know, everything coming out of the Australian camp, they haven't blamed that at all. I think they've just blamed the fact that they weren't good enough on the day yesterday. They didn't play well enough. They got a good start with the bat and failed to capitalise, let England back into the game, and you can't afford to do that against very, very good teams like England are.
So what's the key today, Ricky, with your captain's hat on, in the mind of the respective teams, the mental application?
I think you can see here both teams at the moment just feeling themselves out. South Africa have not looked to be too... I think they're being very circumspect against this new ball. Maybe with the thought of India having those 2 spinners in the side, looking to keep wickets in hand for the middle overs. You know, having set batsmen in when those spinners come on gives them a chance to play and attack the spin a bit more. You don't want to expose new batsmen to quality spin in Jadeja and Ashland. Good start again from Bumrah. Solid forward defence again from de Kock. I think that'll be their game plan. And India have played that exactly the same way through the tournament, haven't they? They've been very circumspect up front trying to get through that first 10 or 12 overs with, you know, 1 wicket down or no wickets down if possible, trying to set the middle of the game up for guys like Yuvraj and Virat Kohli to come and explode like they did in the game against Pakistan.
Two good overs completed, 4 without loss.
It's going to be Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, the third over here. Hashim Amla on strike. Doesn't appear to be much movement again, Bish. Nothing in the air. Doesn't seem to be anything off the seam so far. Looks like a good surface. A good close look at it out there this morning. It's the offside field from India. Jadeja patrolling that backward point area that he does so well. Hardik Pandya, also a very good athlete, very quick across the turf. He's at cover point. The captain, Virat Kohli, at mid-off.
Recent form for Hashim Amla on this ground. Again, Sri Lanka got 100. Such a good play. And just over time, he moves about the crease to both seamers and spinners. Very consistent play over his career. Adequate against slow and seam. Could be tight. Oh, brilliant fielding. Had that been on target, Amla might have come in second.
Good early call from Amla. Terrific movement from Virat Kohli at mid-off. Pick up and throw in the one motion. I think you're right, Bishop. Direct hit there. Might have seen the South African opener struggling. He's off early. Great bit of work. Good intent though. Good running as well. The South Africans, he's out by 3 or 4 yards there, Hashim Amla. Just a little build-up of pressure as well. Some good bowling from Kumar. Lots of dot balls. Scoreboard not ticking over. Another wide down the leg side. This has been a great start from India. I talked about trying to settle into your work and being able to play the style and in the rhythm that you want to play, and so far India have done that really well. Yes, there's been a couple of wides down the leg side, but there have been no boundary balls at all. You've hit a good area, good line and length, and challenging the South African batsmen's defences.
It's a good indication as to the disparity again here at the Oval, as to the big side of the ground, which will be a key strategy-wise where you employ your bowlers.
Yeah, absolutely. And the line that you bowl, Bish, that's the interesting thing when you've got these big boundaries. Quite often bowlers talk about being worried about the dimensions of the ground, and we've seen already Bhuvaneshwar bowling a really straight line to the left-hander. He's hardly got anything outside the off-stump. You know you can't afford to give width to de Kock. Looks like he's sort of targeting on the middle and leg stump line. And there's another one, nice and straight again, just tucked in the leg side.
I was trying to look back at past games that de Kock would have played, let's say 3-4 years ago, to determine whether that backlift has Gully than when he started his career. It's just wandering in from Gully these days. And so the leg side is an easy area for him to nudge into. 3 overs completed, 9 without loss. Bumrah. Very nice. First boundary of the contest to Quinton de Kock.
And a classic straight drive from de Kock. Very simple movement into the ball. Nice flow of the bat as well. You can see he's nice and still in his stance, very side on. Classic straight drive. Not much you can do about that. I wouldn't have been that unhappy with that delivery. Just a class shot down the ground. Bit of extra bounce there from Bumrah, just catching de Kock on the glove, on the bottom hand. I'll pick up on something Ian Bishop mentioned. You can see here, when he look how square he is with his stance. His feet are very, very square. That's a little bit unusual for a left-hander. Normally he'll have the left-hander's feet pointing down to the direction that the ball is actually coming in his stance. So he's very square on, very side on, and you can see that he's consciously trying to pick that bat up very straight. So the point you make about him worried about that bat going out to cover, the way he's standing in his stance and where he's tapping his bat and where he's picking it up, I think he's very, very conscious of not getting that bat too far out to gully, which when you do that does make that offside of play a little bit more difficult. Working the ball to the leg side becomes easy. See Hashim Amla just losing sight of the ball here. Got back in front of his stumps to protect his stumps. Bat on one side, body on the other.
In front and above the stumps. What about these stats, Ricky? Both of these teams have been very, I don't know, tentative is the right word in the first 10, or careful.
It seems like it's been an approach from quite a few of the teams in the tournament, doesn't it? Maybe when they got here, thinking about what these English conditions may have been like. So the style of play was about maybe just getting through the new ball, expecting a bit of spin, but it's done nothing. You know, England have probably been the team that have been most aggressive in the power play so far in the tournament. It's nicely worked into the leg side from Amla. Let's just be the single. Yeah, India especially have been very circumspect up front. You can see that they're building their whole batting innings around their middle order. I mean, Sharma's been very good. Shikadama made a great 100 last game, but their run rate in the early overs is probably one of the lowest in the entire tournament. So That's just the style of play. They're playing to their strengths. They understand that their strength is their middle order and their batting depth, and they're playing to that, which you can't argue with. I think at the end of the tournament we'll have a better idea of who's employed the right tactics. We saw England yesterday, after losing early wickets, come out and just keep going. Morgan came out and started exceptionally aggressively. Ben Stokes hit everything in the middle from the start.
इंडिया का फास्टेस्ट नेटवर्क कौन सा है? ऑब्वियसली
Yeah, I was of the view that in bilateral tournaments since the last World Cup as well, Ricky, that the top 5 were separating themselves from the next 5. But as one coach reminded me, he says it is such a compact and fantastic tournament that it's about on the day. You only play a team once, maybe twice if you go all the way. Runs. Is it runs off the bat or leg byes? Off the bat.
Yeah, I agree, Bish. It is about on the day, but it's also the little moments on the day. It's not just about the overall game, it's winning. All the crucial little moments. Finch, 68 not out, skies on up in the air. Steve Smith, 56, chips one to mid-off. And then Australia have England 3 for 35 and couldn't capitalise on those moments in the game. Well, I imagine some of these headlines might have come out in today's papers, Bish. Aussies sent packing. Yeah, England were very good yesterday, no doubt. Wood was very good. Rashid bowled well, both taking 4 wickets each at crucial times in the game as well. Wood continues to get the big players out. Has done right through the tournament. Did again yesterday. Got Warner early on. Stephen Smith as well. Maxwell caught on the fence. All the big names. He's got that knack of knocking him over at the moment. Well, a shot like that says to me that this is a very, very good pitch. Back of a length delivery. Amla pushed onto the back foot, tries to punch it hard, and did. Just didn't quite get the gap. Very good pace in this pitch, good consistent bounce. Struck right in the middle of the bat. Average scores have been 277, batting first in this tournament, but that's with that one score of 183 from Bangladesh. So and Jadeja at backward point. Not many better in the world than him there. Gets across the ground very quickly. And has got as good a throwing arm as you'll see in the modern game. So just staying on that average score, 277. As I said, 183 against Australia. So most other teams have actually made 300 or above. And I really feel for South Africa to be in this game today, they're going to have to do exactly the same thing.
5 gone, 21 without loss. visitors from South Africa and India sitting together. .21 without loss. There's Hardik Pandya to bowl some seam as well. Do you like the inclusion of Ravichandran Ashwin?
Well, he's a class bowler. I just feel it leaves India a little bit short. Class shot to Cock. He picks out Jadeja at backward point. I feel it leaves him a little bit short in the seam department. Pandya, very inexperienced. Probably someone going into a game you would prefer not to have to rely on to bowl 10 overs. I mean, they've got someone like Virat Kohli might bowl himself a couple of overs he's needed. Yuvraj can bowl a few overs of spin. Rohit Sharma can bowl a few overs of spin as well if needed. But I think if you look at their overall attack, they probably have played their best 5 bowlers in this game. Certainly their best 4 with Bhuvaneshwar, Bumrah and their 2 spinners. Umesh Yadav is obviously very unlucky. He's been one of their better bowlers for a long period of time now. He didn't perform at his absolute best in the last game against Sri Lanka. There he is on screen there, the man that's been left out today. So it's a different role for Bumrah as well. With Yadav not being there, Bumrah takes the new ball. Pandya is probably going to have to bowl on the power play as well. So it'll be interesting to see how it pans out. I really think that South Africa will they'll gear their batting
Mentioned AB and Virat. They were very cool at the toss, chatting with each other for about 5 minutes before the toss actually took place, and they seem fairly relaxed. It's the fans, those beyond the boundary with the expectation on either side. Know you're sitting wherever you are watching this and you're tense. Oh, nice gap finding from Hashim Amla.
beautiful shot from Amla. A little bit short and a little bit of width on offer from Bumrah. Amla's on the back foot, standing tall, on top of the bounce. Hits it late, hits it square, hits it to the boundary for 4. He's looked good so far.
inside edge onto the pad, so just threw for a single Amla. But they decided to leave out Yumesh Yadav, and the bowling performance going to go up front. He's done the job for us at the start of the innings on quite a few occasions. We're replacing him. How's it going to go? And it's been good. Bumrah's been really good. 4 overs, 0 for 14. And Bhuvaneshwar, 4.3 overs, 0 for 17. So they'll be very happy about that start. And now the best thing about it is they've got that variation in the middle overs. Gets down and sweeps. Good stop by Bumrah at short fine leg.
It's another example of the pace of the surface. He has been trying for a while, Quinton de Kock, to hit on the up, punch in front of the wicket on both sides, on the onside, on the offside. This time taking a different option. Doesn't play that shot very often. But it's the scoreboard pressure, it's the way the Indians have bowled. They've really dried the runs up for the South African batsman.
Also got a really good field set for Quinton de Kock when he's on strike.
Of just 25 deliveries, strike rate of 44. His partnership 33 of 55. India playing a different side in this game. Back with 2 spinners, Ravichandran Ashwin, Ravindra Jadeja, and very rightly, the wind blowing from the right to the left, the short boundaries.
Another quality over by Kumar, 33 without loss.